Review the following real-life situation and answer the question that follows. Question number 1. Patient wants to get up. Would you let him? Why or why not? No, I will not let the patient stand up. First of all, because patient wasn't wearing a helmet at the time of the incident, and he could contract a contusion or a hit on his head, or depending on how he feels, if it was a pronunciated fall, the patient could also suffer any kind of trauma to the spine. Question number 2. As you begin your assessment, a bystander tells you that the cyclist has been unconscious at this time. What is your general impressions? What else should you ask the bystanders about the situation? By doing my assessment, I will find out that the bystander, because the bystander told me that my patient was unconscious right before we arrived. My general impression is that the patient could sustain any trauma to the head because he was because of the fall, and because of my patient could have been knocked down. That's why he could be unconscious. I will ask the bystanders if they see how what part of the patient lands first on the floor, and if they had told me that it was the head, I'm going to ask them if they could tell me if the patient was knocked out when he falls, and then also if my patient has suffered any kind of seizure activity or behavior. Bystanders tell you that just before the bicycle struck the curb, the cyclist was acting strange. He was riding in front of the traffic and waving across the center line. Now, what is your impression? By gathering the history of the bystanders I've given me until now, I can narrow down a little bit more on the behavior of my patient. Just right before the accident, I found out that my patient was having a strange behavior. Maybe there was something happening in the patient in the moment that makes the patient fall. I will ask questions to my patient to see if he was had any past pertinent history, and try to get more information that could lead me to what happened. Question number 4. As you conduct your assessment, you note a hematoma on the patient's forehead, but see no other signs of injury. His vital signs are stable. His Glasgow score scale is 14. Should you transport? Why and why not? Well, even when I'm doing my assessment and I just see minimum injuries on this patient, I will really encourage my patient to get transported to the hospital. And then because he has suffered a hematoma to the forehead, but he's stable at the moment. Everything looks normal with him. I will really encourage my patient to transport to the hospital, because the hematoma in the forehead could cause major illness later on, and he needs to be checked out with a physician, and they could rule out any internal bleeding on any ruptures to the crane or anything bad that is not visible at the moment.